July 20th, 1969, the US became the first country to successfully land a man on the moon. Or did we? Could it be possible that one of the most iconic moments in US history is really one big hoax? A conspiracy created by your very own government? A lie told to instill pride in your nation? Maybe. If the US landing on the moon turned out to be a lie, then what else is a lie? We need answers, and I will do my best to give you some. I'm going to lay out 3 reasons for you as to why I believe that the US did not really land a man on the moon, including the immense pressure to make a big move during the Cold War, the peculiarity of the US flag waving on the moon, and the problems with the grand total being 0 stars in any of the photographs taken on the moon's surface. After World War II, all was supposed to be well and peaceful, but that changed with the start of the Cold War, a different kind of war between the USA and the Soviet Union. The war was all about territory, power, and status, with a very small percentage actually resulting in fighting between the US and USSR troops. One major aspect became known as the space race. This was basically a race to see who can make the most advances in the final frontier. On October 4th, 1957, the USSR took the lead with the launching of Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite to make it into space. The US needed to make a move. According to moonlanding.com, President John F. Kennedy had promised to put a man on the moon despite problems with the space program. Then what happened on July 20th, 1969? We supposedly had made it. This meant that we had essentially won the space race, striking a huge blow to the USSR. So why would they fake this? Well, we were at war. An opportunity arose to defeat the USSR, something that they had been staggeringly defeating us on. The problems with the program meant that a real attempt to land the man on the moon could have easily failed. So why risk it? They put together a set, they played it safe, having all the same effects worldwide as if we'd actually done it. Moving on, I would like to discuss one of the problems with the footage on the moon. One of the iconic images from the landing is the US astronauts sticking an American flag into the moon's dirt. We see the flag swaying proudly in the wind. Except there's no wind on the moon. Space is a vacuum, which means no wind at all. There is no way the flag could have been swaying unless they weren't on the moon at all, and were in fact on Earth, on a set in Hollywood perhaps, made to look like the moon. And that is why there was wind flow. In an article by Time.com titled Separating Fact from Fiction, it says the flag's movement, they say, clearly shows the presence of wind, which is impossible in a vacuum. It's hard to argue with the evidence simply put as that. Next, I would like to discuss another key piece of evidence. The moon has a thinner atmosphere than Earth. It also has no clouds. So it would stand to reason that stargazing on the moon would be marvelous, right? Well, then why is it that in all the photos and videos we see of the landing, there aren't any stars in the sky? Well, a posting by listverse.com sums it up perfectly, stating the argument here is that NASA would have found it impossible to map out exact locations of each star for the hoax without being rumbled, and therefore left them out. Kind of makes sense, right? NASA expected skeptics to be observant and look for any mistakes in the stars, so they decided to avoid that and default to an excuse that the quality of the photos was too poor to see the stars. It's kind of funny how it's pretty easy for us here on Earth to take a decent photo and at least see the stars in the sky. So we've now discussed the motivation to fake the moon landing, the problems with the flag swaying, and the peculiarity that we can't see any of the stars. I know that it's hard to believe. We all want to think the best of our country. However, it's our duty as Americans to ask questions. Was the moon landing fact or fiction? That's something that you have to decide for yourself. Thank you.